All right, there it goes. All right, we just started the recording. We already called to order. We already did the Pledge of Allegiance. The recording missed that. We had a glitch. We're going to go right into public discussion. Anyone from public discussion? Anyone from public discussion? If you can hear me, you'll have to unmute yourself. You're unmuted. One more try. Anyone from public discussion? Going once, going twice? All right. Mr. Wills with the solicitor's report, please.
Yes, good evening, everybody, and hope everybody is well. I have no action items this evening, just a couple review items that I'd like to discuss. One concerns the property at 3607 Victor Avenue. This is a property that filed a preliminary injunction with regard to property maintenance issues. It has been continued on multiple occasions as a result of the court closure due to the COVID-19 crisis. However, we do have a new court.
Jay, hang on a minute.
Yes.
Jay, unmute yourself, please. It won't let me unmute you. All right, there's too much background noise. Go ahead.
Did anybody hear me?
We did.
Oh, okay. The 3607 Victor Avenue property, we have a court hearing before Judge Whalen next Wednesday, July 1st. So I will be there in attendance. I expect Zoning Officer Hampton to be there, and Code Enforcement Officer Grant will also be there. And hopefully we'll finally get court action to have this property addressed and have it cleaned up and have it code compliant. Second issue is the Brookhaven Glen development. This is the 55 and over development off of Edgemont Avenue. Those land development plans have been recorded up at the Delaware County Courthouse. I have prepared and drafted a developer's agreement, an improvement security agreement, and also an agreement for the escrow and payment of professional fees. I forwarded those to the developer, and I expect his attorney to review them, perhaps comment on them, and hopefully we will get those executed in the not too distant future. Other issue was the Brookhaven storage development. I have spoken and been in contact with the attorney for the developer. He initially provided some land development plans. The Borough Engineer's Office, Mr. Catania, had commented and suggested there's a number of deficiencies to those plans. It's my understanding the developer will be probably filing some new and amended development plans perhaps early next month. So as soon as we get those plans, I'll work with the Planning Commission and we will schedule a public meeting. And I expect that public meeting to be able to take place at the municipal building so long as we exercise all the social distancing protocols and the guidelines of the governor, that we will be able to have a planning commission meeting at the Borough Hall on the Brookhaven storage development. Other issue concerned Carmen's. As council may be aware, this property is being actively marketed. I expect this to be under contract within the next 30 days. So finally, we will get new ownership, hopefully in the not too distant future, and be able to get that property finally completed with regard to a number of the other property maintenance issues. And again, get it back on the tax rolls and get the property code compliant. Other issue concerned Dunkin Donuts. Again, I've been in touch with the developer's engineer. We expect those plans that were approved to be recorded as well up the Delaware County Courthouse, and The developer will then be required to execute a developer's agreement and again, a public improvement security agreement on that as well. And then finally, we know we've had a number of furlough recalls, so I've been in touch with the council president and the chief of police with regard to drafting and assisting in the necessary furlough recall notifications. And I'm pleased we have most of our employees now back in working, again, under somewhat different conditions, as we call it, the new normal. Other than that, Mr. President, I can report progress, and that is the end of my report.
Okay, great work on Carmen's. It's a long time coming. A lot of people
Yes.
will be happy. Good work, sir. Mr. Mayor?
I know you'll be disappointed. I have nothing new to report this evening.
I certainly am. Mr. Vasquez is not with us tonight. Ms. Sawicki? Janice, can you unmute yourself, please? Hold on, let me try. That doesn't look
Okay.
like Janice. There you go.
No.
Hey.
Basically, tomorrow the audit's going to happen in the council room. So Delilah and I will be handling it. John's here because he has to be interviewed. So we'll let you know at the council meeting what transpires. But other than that, we're just working on end of the month bills and the bills for the July council meeting. So that's all I have right now.
Thank you, Janice. Ms. Leslie?
Good evening. I do not have any report tonight. I'll have a full report at the council meeting.
Thank you. Mr. Pappas?
I do not have anything. My committees did not meet.
You guys are all mutes tonight. Mrs. Heller?
I only have one thing. It's for the business association. I was notified by Lowe's Corporate, working with Lowe's Brookhaven, that they have masks that they're going to be donating to the smaller businesses that have been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. So we've identified so far 2 smaller businesses that are going to take advantage of having those masks donated. Some that are going to be opening up on June 29th. So I'll be working with the Lowe's of Brookhaven through their corporate office to donate those masks to those businesses. So there'll be more to come for that during the July meeting. And that's all I have right now.
Mrs. Fuchs?
Masks.
Mrs. Fuchs, unmute yourself, please.
Sorry about that.
That's all
I
right.
just have some morning's committee news. We did not meet in June. We will be working on the open burden ordinance over the next few weeks. I emailed everyone the revised animal control ordinance. We just reworded making it a requirement to have your animals, your dogs, chipped. We're not going to require that in the ordinance. So everyone, please check your email for that. And if everyone's okay with that, I'd like to vote on that in July. I would like to remind everyone here, as well as the residents, that we do have a fireworks ordinance. It can be found on our website, www.brookhavenborough.com. Just some few reminders. We have a noise ordinance that prohibits fireworks after 10 p.m. And if you are within 150 feet of a structure, you are not to be lighting off those large fireworks. So please, if you're not familiar with the fireworks ordinance, go out on our website. It's under the ordinance, the document section, and it's called the fireworks ordinance. And we will be meeting, probably Zoom, on Thursday, July 16th. And that's on my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Fuchs. The engineer's report, Mr. Catania.
Thanks, Mr. Heller. Just a couple things. The first one is there was a street lateral problem at 4849 Greenwood Street that required emergency action. I'll have for next week or next meeting, I'll have the request that the council ratify that emergency repair. We'll also, the 2020 street resurfacing project, those bids are set to be accepted on Thursday, I think, the 25th. So we'll have that bid tabulation in consideration for award to come up. And then two late additions. I think it was Thursday night. There was a vehicle crash into the beer barn with the help of the fire marshal and the fire company and fire chief. We were out there. The beer barn owner has supplied a structural report from a licensed engineer, which recommends some repairs to be made. So we'll follow up that on the building inspection side. And then yesterday, there was a sanitary sewer overflow on Brookhaven Road at Gray Street. Bob Grant and the Public Works Department responded to that. We were required to notify DEP of the overflow that got into the storm sewer. The nearby storm sewer was a very minor amount. We filed a necessary report to DEP today. I'll tell you what has come up on this project, on this problem, and the one on Greenwood Street. I'm sure we have it someplace, but we need some written document, or written policy on how to address damages caused by these sewer backups. Both of these cases, residents had sewage in their basements, and there was kind of an uncertainty of how the borough addressed that, whether the homeowner got their own cleanup company or whether the borough had a company on standby. So it's just something we need to work on in the near future. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Charles. Whomever's clicking their pen, please stop. Thank you. I think it's you, Sawicki, again.
About what?
Don't make me come in there with that pen clicking.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I know you're sorry. Guess that's me. Give me one moment to pull my report up, folks.
I'm trying to read this paper.
All right, I have 5 exec sessions to announce. Saturday, June 6th, 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock p.m. Meeting was publicly advertised in the Delaware County Daily Times. Purpose of the meeting was to vote to hire the candidate for the office manager position with a salary of $45,000 plus all benefits afforded to full-time office staff. The candidate hired was John Willward. That meeting was held via Zoom. June 2nd, 6:30 to 7 o'clock p.m. Purpose was to interview a candidate for the office manager role, held via Zoom. June 3rd, 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock p.m. Purpose was to interview candidates for the office manager role, also held via Zoom with public invite. I think that public invite was actually supposed to go for the hiring meeting, not that. I must have cut and pasted that by accident, sorry. June 16th, 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. Purpose was a personnel matter, held via Zoom. June 18th, 6:30 to 8 o'clock p.m. Purpose was a personnel matter. That meeting was held in person in the council chamber. I have a Learn and Fly program update. I was notified today by the USDA after requesting an update on the spotted Learn and Fly treatment program that no funding will be available. The only assistance given by the USDA will be advice. This is due to insufficient funding and staffing. Therefore, the borough will have to come up with a treatment plan on its own. We'll have to pay for it. I did reach out to the state today, see if any other type of assistance was available, and I'm waiting on an answer. And I also want to thank Steve and Billy from Public Works and Chuck, Leslie, and Bob Grant for helping take care of that ugly sewer issue on Brookhaven Road yesterday on Father's Day. It was pretty ugly. They got it fixed. With our sewer machine down, we had to call in a contractor. So we incurred that cost, but it got the job done. And that is all I have for now. Let's go to Mr. Leslie's not with us tonight. Chief Montello, do you have something?
No, Mr. President. I think you guys got my report from last week, just on updates from COVID and all that. Been getting a little better for us. So mostly anything that's coming in has been out of town or long-term facilities. So we've been looking pretty good lately. And we're just trying to keep up with the PPE. We're having some difficulties, but the extra masks that the borough was able to secure early is helping us along. So
We should probably put in another big order in case there's a resurgence. It can't hurt to have them.
Yeah,
And go ahead.
Yep. That's all right. That's good. Yep, that's perfect.
And to tack on to what you said, I think Brookhaven stuck at 56 cases and the 4 deaths, which is good. I didn't see any cases added this week.
That's a shame.
And I do have a report. Are you done, sir?
Yes, thank you.
All right, thank you, Rob. Enjoy your vacation. I do have a report from Harold Hampton. It kind of piggybacks what Mr. Wills said. His report is Carmen's property is now selling for an asking price of $288,000. He met with Mr. George Mankakis, I think you pronounce it.
That's good.
Who may want to make 2 stores out of it. In addition, there are 3 other buyers interested in the property. He has talked to several other people who are also interested in the property, and the realtor believes the property will be sold by the end of the week, but I think Jay already touched on it. That will be the shortest report you'll ever get from Harold Hampton, for the record.
That's right. That's true.
That's because I typed it up.
That's because you John typed it up. That's right.
John typed it up.
We appreciate that, Mr. Wilbur. Wow, we're almost done. That takes us into
That's a lot of transfer money.
second round of public discussion. Is there anyone for public discussion?
Can I ask a question to the council?
Absolutely, Mrs. Johnson.
815 Adams Drive is my address. My question is, will the Brookhaven council members have an official statement?
Christina, can you hold on a second? I'm gonna mute everyone, and I want you to unmute yourself. There's too much background noise. Okay, unmute yourself, please, and continue. Sorry.
Okay. I would like to know, will the Brookhaven council members have an official statement regarding the public racist, anti-Muslim, anti-COVID comments made by the Pendelco School District Board President Leon Armour?
Mr. Wills,
Official comment.
unmute yourself, Mr. Wills.
I believe it is the consensus of Borough Council that it will not be taking an official position or making an official statement this evening with regard to the situation with the Pendelco School District president. At this point, it's my understanding the school board itself has not taken any official position other than, I believe there's been an apology by the president, but the school board itself and the school district itself has not taken any position. And Borough Council feels it's appropriate, at least initially, to have the school board take a position before it weighs in, if it chooses to weighs in at a later date.
And
Is that a fair statement?
sure, and Mrs. Johnson, that position, which is a non-position for now, hardly means support. It really means no position. We're going to leave it up to the school board to hopefully properly handle it. Does not mean we agree with statements or the misuse of social media by any means.
Thank you.
Anything else? Anyone else for public discussion?
Just real quick, Terry.
Go ahead, Mr. Dykes.
Yeah, Tom.
Name and address, sir. Even though we know you, the public might not.
Tom Dykes, yes, 305 West Brookhaven Road. We're supposed to have our July concert on July 15th. If we're going to have one, I think it might be better to wait a week or 2 weeks, do either the 22nd or 29th. I haven't talked to anybody else yet about that. Just to give us a little bit more time for things to settle down or we figure out what's going on. We should be in a green by that point, which means we can have up to 250 people in a gathering. And there is plenty of space at the park for that many people. And we usually, I think the most we've ever had was about probably maybe 100, 125. So that would go through with that. So I just want to kind of see with that. I need to contact a couple entertainers to see what they want to do. So that's kind of where I'm at. If anyone on Borough Council have an idea on that? Donna, Sherry?
On what in particular?
On postponing it till the 22nd or 29th?
Well, the way I look at it, we're going green on Friday, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so and I'm going to use this to answer. I've had a good few people ask me about the building rentals. The original position from council was to postpone all building rentals until the end of the year and/or a vaccine's available. Now, we may be able to reconsider that if we go green, but we need 2 to 3 weeks of data after we go green.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
We're at the point where we're at 30 a day. I saw 15 for Saturday. I mean, we're hardly in a pandemic in Delaware County anymore. It's almost a non-issue. Now, if you go Green Friday, Delaware County loves their bars. They love their big public gatherings. You have hundreds of people fighting and drinking all over each other, and then your numbers surge. Then it kind of changes your plans. But I would want to, and I'm not speaking for all of council, I would assume they would agree with this though. I would want to see data 2 to 3 weeks after we go green to make any decisions. So you said July what?
Well, it was originally scheduled for July 15th. So if we're going to still do one in July, I would try pushing it back as late as possible, which would be July 9th or 29th.
Probably a good idea. That'll give you that. That'll give you room.
Fine with that.
That'll give you room for 2 to 3 weeks of data.
Right.
And I'm
Either
fine
that
with that too.
Or go to the first week in August even, and just do 2 in August.
Sure.
One in the beginning and one in the end of August.
Sure. And Chief Montello will help us out with that. We'll keep in touch with him on a daily basis to see what the COVID numbers are doing.
Yeah.
And
that was my idea. We need to get it back.
If there is a spike due to increased human activity and close contact, it would probably begin anywhere from 2 days to 14 days out, I think science says. So
right.
We'll play it by ear, right?
And there's also a 4th of July weekend in there too.
Sure.
So that's
Hopefully the numbers stay flat. It's we're doing well. We
that
want to
would
keep
be
it
good. So, all right, that was what I was asking about. So that's no problem.
Okay. Nothing else?
Nothing else for me right at the moment. No.
Thank you, Tom. Anyone else for public discussion? Going once? Going twice? All right, that's closed. Anything from council? Any follow-ups, comments? Anything?
No.
We're all set? All right, with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, everyone, stay safe. Thank you.
Good night.
All right, good
Night.
night, everybody.